there, Global Nobles? How's it going there, YouTube? So check this out. Most of you have been asking me, how's the new battery life under the new 5.0 Lollipop? Well, I have to say there has been quite a few great improvements within its system, and there is quite a few things to talk about. So first things first, whenever you are while charging your phone, if you leave it within 10 to 15 minutes and you have it off just like this, whenever you press the power button, it can actually let you know how much time there is left before there is a full charge. Now, do keep in mind, this is a great feature when it comes to actually overheating any components within, say, for instance, the CPU, the RAM, or the GPU chip. So this is great when it comes to it. Now, there has been quite a few things that have been removed, and first I actually have to say that now the Android system is fully integrated, so you actually have to have a Google account to access any of the Google services. Anything that actually comes with the HTC phone, do apologize for the zoom. Anything that actually is tied to Google, you do have to have an account. So I will put a description. If not, I will actually make a video on a small tutorial on how to make a Google account, because any of these new features actually now ties itself to Google. So the only thing that actually, I guess, doesn't tie itself, and maybe, I don't know, maybe Chrome, but I doubt it. But when it comes to documents or sheets, it requires you to enter your email address within the Google service. All right, so that's one of the things that actually has been added with this feature, is that anything, even YouTube, well, I guess after a while, it will let you through. But I really haven't tested out all these icons, but when you do a factory reset, or when you do a full wipe, the first thing that it will ask you is your Google credentials. So when doing the factory reset, I also noticed that the battery life, when having it at 100, it goes down to 75. So that means that there is a 25% battery drain within it, and that's pretty good because it actually does not take a good 30% or 35% when doing this. So I can actually say that this operating system has quite improved since KitKat when it came to battery life. If I go to power at the moment, as you can see, there's 87%. You can actually also go within the settings on the battery and click on how much percent there is left. So on the top, you'll actually see how many percentage is left before you have a full battery. So when doing so, you can actually now see that it has 1 hour left before it has a full charge, and you can see that there is 87% left. So that's a bit quite accurate, but again, I am using the phone as I am charging it, so the time does vary. If you do leave it alone, the time actually will run down to at least 15 minutes until a full charge, or even less. So again, that's a huge improvement from KitKat. Now, most of you on the last video has also been asking me about the recent apps. It seems that recent apps did change, and it now looks like a style of the Samsung Galaxy, where you have now cascading windows. So I'm just going to open up quite a few applications here just to show you guys what's going on. But again, when doing the factory reset in my last video, I had a lot of icons Now, most of them are gone. The only ones that I have noticed by far that's not here on this phone, you might want to look in the my last video, the update on the 5.0. You're gonna notice that I had a Wi-Fi calling icon. It is no longer there when doing a full reset, so do keep in mind if you do make mistakes within your phone and say now you want to do a full factory reset. I would not recommend this because you will lose quite a bit of applications that is quite useful for you if you do enjoy having Wi-Fi calling. So as you can see, the Wi-Fi calling icon is there, but when I press it, the application is not there for it to open up. Now in my last video, you got to see it. I didn't open it because I don't think my plan supports, or my plan is not subscribed to the Wi-Fi calling. So that's another thing that you might want to look into your service provider. So let me now show you on the recent apps. Since I hit quite a few icons and applications I opened up, now I'm going to hit the home button twice. And you get to see the cascading of all of the applications. And I mean all of them. If you actually ended up hitting all of your applications within your phone, you can now bring up all of them and just click once and it zooms you right in. So as you can see, it's pretty neat, and it does not, lag or anything, because within the KitKat, whenever you did hit recent apps, it took quite a while for it to actually bring up the application. Now this time, it's pretty quick. And if you ever get lost, you can actually type in the recent apps. Again, I am sorry for the... And you can actually search, but I don't think the search actually works for recent apps. I guess it's mostly for the web. But again, recent apps, say for instance, you do want to go and revert back to the way it was, the way that we actually was used to, because again, when I first found out about the update, I did say that HTC loves to add and remove stuff that we really don't need. So when it comes to that and you want to revert back to the way it was, you can go ahead and click the sidebar here, go to settings, click layout, and instead of card view, you put in grid view. Now, as you can see now, it actually turned back the way it was originally in the KitKat, but now you get pages. So as you can see, there is a little dot on the bottom. And if I slide back to the left, I can see the recent applications that are on that page. So again, if you do decide to click, say for instance, all 260 something applications that you do have on your phone, all of them will show up on the recent apps. So I guess this is Google's way to actually monitor and find out what applications do take battery life. Because if you do subscribe to the Google information network, meaning that when you authorize Google to take certain information from your phone so that way they can improve the next operating system, this is where they look. So that way now they're able to determine what takes more battery life and then either tell the developer or the next operating system can improve the battery life within. So now I actually get the clear recent apps button. In the previous grid, this button is not there. So now I can actually clear the recent apps And this does take a while as it is clearing the RAM that is using within the recent apps, because again, this does take RAM within your phone. So that's a new improvement as well. If you look in the KitKat, you see that there is 1.7 gigs of RAM being taken, knowing that the HTC One M7 carries 2 gigs of RAM. In the KitKat, there is at least 2 to 300 megs of RAM that's being accoladed to the KitKat's operating system. So when you do look at how much RAM is being used and how much is left, the total RAM that's actually noted is 1.7. So I'm going to open up again a couple of more apps and then go into recent apps and show you a new feature as well. So now I'm back into recent apps, and if I hit the sidebar again, there is running apps. Before, this was there in the KitKat version, but when I click it, there is a new feature. Before, that would actually give me a list of what type of applications is running on my phone. Now again, I do apologize for the zoom. I am recording on the HTC Evo 4G LTE. This is like my favorite phone that I like to record on. So this is quite a thing here. So now you see device memory. As you can see, now it actually tells me how much free RAM I have left, how much is taken on the system, which is 300, approximately 400. I would range it anywhere to 500 megabytes of RAM being used on the system if you are stressing out your phone, meaning that if you do, for instance, play games on a constant and you press the home button and say, for instance, you now want to go on to Facebook, there is system RAM being accoladed, so that way whenever you press the recent button, the recent apps list, that's what it actually takes up. And as well, the apps that I do have open in my recent list, it lets me know how much RAM is being used there. And again, how much RAM I have left. So if I add this all together, that's pretty much the 2 gigs that the HTC One really has. So that's another good feature that it has on it. Now, most of the setting features are the same. Nothing much has really changed. The Easter egg that a lot of you guys, even some other casters, have been noting is not on the HTC One. I will be making another video on how to actually bring up the Google Android's Lollipop Easter egg. Most of you can download it on the Play Store. You might want to go ahead and look up Lollipop Land. That is basically the name of the Easter egg that actually Google has implanted within the Android system. Even so, when doing the factory reset and updating the ROM through HTC, the Easter egg will not show up on this phone. So that's basically it on this edition on how the battery life improved within the Lollipop, and as well as some of your guys' inquiries as to the recent apps and what has changed and what has not. There is one more thing that I would like to add that really changed majorly, is the fact that this is now your homepage, but if you do like the news feed that HTC does provide to you, you're going to notice that the clock is not there. So originally in the KitKat version, you did see the clock on the top. There is no way you can actually add the clock to this. So if you was to, for instance, add the widget, it's going to let you know that there is no space for you to go ahead and do so. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. You're going to see that there's a red highlight, meaning that there is no room. And even though I want to put it on, it's not going to let me. So that's another thing. So you might, if you do like to see your clock when you do unlock your phone, I guess the first page that's available is your best bet. But again, I do love the blink feed, news feed, so that's not really much an issue. I do have this as my home. As you can see, I can actually hold the screen and then I can manage home, and this would be my home button. Now I can make the news feed my home, but since it doesn't have the clock, I can actually go ahead and make this my home. So again, thank you very much for watching. Do comment, rate. Let me know what you guys think on a comment below. What you think of the new update. Do you think it's pretty cool? Do you think that the new features really help you? Or do you think that HTC just kind of ruined the blink feed for you? Let me know what you guys think below. And I will leave a couple of links if you do not have the HTC One update on how to actually update within the support page. Because I also got a couple of comments saying that they are waiting for the HTC to push the Lollipop update, but HTC has provided a link so you can download the ROM, so you can actually update your phone if you can't wait for the over-the-air transfer that your provider will push onto your phone. But again, let me do note that the download is 1.5 gigabytes. So if you are on a slow internet, it might take at least an hour or quite a few hours. But once you do, you might want to go ahead and plug in your USB onto your computer and just run the exe, and everything should update smoothly. I will put a video up on how to do so if you guys are still not getting the Lollipop 5.0 and you do have the HTC M7, and I'll post that up as soon as possible. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you soon. Happy weekend.